What's up, everyone? I've been playing a little bit of this Dreadmyst game and been enjoying myself and farming up, and I finally got enough money to do my respec, so I figured what the heck, I'll make a little video on it. On the right side here, I got the point allocation and the XP it'll cost for everything. These are the skills down here, stat attributes and all that here. I used Apophysis Paladin sheet and added a few things for myself and changed some of the formulas around that he had. So we'll go quickly over the different things here and my thoughts on why I'm doing what I'm doing, and then I'll show you the gear I plan on going for solo and then dungeon gear. So we'll start off with health, 1000. Mainly because we want to hit a certain threshold on HP. We want around 3500 HP with our gear. And I'll just flash it here real quick. So with this, with our buff, with our gear, we'll have about 3500 solo. Allow us to survive some of the bigger fireballs that we can't interrupt if we're trying to solo the world bosses and stuff like that. 800 mana, not a huge investment. Gives us the ability to cast a few more spells if needed. I haven't really ever run into an issue with mana solo, but who knows, there might be some long drawn out fights, or even in PvP, more mana is always nice if you get into a mana burn fight with another Cleric, or I think Rangers, I think, get a mana burn. We go 140 strength with points spent. With the 10 we start with, that gives us our 150 base amount, so we can equip up to mithril gear. It also allows us to do steel, the 125 armor. That's basically why we spend the strength, just so we're able to wear the little bit better armor. 150 is not a bad. I know a lot of people go, I think it's 200. I think that's a little too much. I think the difference, what is it? What is it here? 140 is 92,000, and I think to go to 175 to get the extra 15 points is 47,000 XP, which is quite a bit. I mean, that's basically almost all our dodge rating. We would have to get rid of all our dodge rating and then some to be able to afford getting there. So I think 150 is the sweet spot on strength, so that's why I hit up 140 here with the 10 we start with. 100 courage. I really like courage as a stat. We end up with a lot of it. It increases our weapon skill and our shield skill, which is very useful. Also our resist, crit rate. It's just pretty much a do everything stat for us. So getting it up to 100's pretty decent. The only downside to courage is it's a do everything for our stats, but it's a do nothing for our skills, really. Only 2 of our skills, I believe, scale off of courage. I want to say it is the nuke here, and it might be one other thing, smite. So smite and the nuke scale off courage. So skill wise, it's kind of a dud. That's why we don't go super crazy with it. We kind of just leave it at 100. 19 seems weird for agility, but that puts us right at 24. How the math works out is every 3 points of agility gets you 1 melee crit, and that's all it does for clerics. It doesn't give us anything else, no other bonuses whatsoever. So then we got our intelligence. Take it up to 125. I mean, honestly, these here aren't set in stone. This one's set in stone. The agility set in stone. Courage, intelligence, willpower, you can kind of play around with what you see fit. I found 125 to be a nice spot for points spent for what intelligence gives us. Gives us resist, and it gives us a little bit of spell crit, which helps a couple of things. But the big thing is it helps all of our skills, all our heals. Like all our heals are willpower, intelligence, so it's a nice little bonus to our healing, just raising our intelligence stat. So in that aspect, I find getting it to 125. And again, you can lower it a little bit if you want, if you feel like you want to spend more points in melee crit and stuff, but I'll give you my reasoning down through of why I picked everything, and then you can mess around with it as you want. Willpower 130 again. I'd like to go higher, but it starts getting quite expensive once you start getting around this point spent area. So I figured the points would be better spent elsewhere, but willpower is pretty much our best stat when it comes to hybrid clerics, or whatever. I guess we would be a hybrid cleric. Strength cleric would probably want like 200 strength, I guess, for the extra melee damage. But willpower is pretty strong. Gives us increases all our healing, increases all of our weapon skill, shield skill, like pretty much all our stuff. Resist, meditate, everything. So love willpower. Willpower is great. Gets kind of expensive, a little more expensive here. As you can see, like 130, 76. Then we're spending another, what, 16,000 to get up to 10 more points. Whereas, I mean, I guess maybe you can lower melee crit, but the reason I go 525 melee crit is we're looking to hit about 33% melee crit chance with gear. So with 525, that'll get us to 24% melee crit chance. And then as you can see here with gear, we get up to 33% chance. So that's a nice little bonus. 1 in 3 of our hits are going to crit. Not too bad of an investment. 69,000. I mean, a huge DPS increase. I mean, you just know when you crit, like, how much more damage you do. I don't know if it's 1.5 or 2 times, but it's a big number. It's a big hit. So then we come down and we got our block and our dodge rating. So block 125. We're just basically getting it so we have a little bit of a chance. I find this to be way too RNG. We're getting it doesn't affect spells. It only affects abilities and attacks. We're already getting 300. We're going to be getting up to 300 armor value when we're solo. So I find it to just be a nice bonus when you block or dodge. And for the point investment, 5, I went up to 10% dodge chance just because it's not that much more. I don't know, it's a decent amount more, but really, I mean, you could play around with these points if you want to take this down to 125. You get yourself 24k. That, you know, we talk about, you get your willpower up a little bit more. Get your willpower up to 135, 140, something like that. But for the most part, I put it at 250 for the 10% chance, just because it completely negates the attack. So yeah, you never know, it might save your life every now and then. But that's definitely something you can play with. 175 on all the resist. I know it seems like a weird number, but when we gear up, it gives us a 1 in 5 chance of resisting in our solo set, which is nice. And then in our dungeon set, it gives us almost with pluses and stuff like that, will be close to a 1 in 4 chance of resisting spells in PvE gear. So nice little number. I settled on 175. Not too expensive. Again, it's just kind of how you're gearing. I just find these numbers here to be a nice baseline. I guess that's the good way to look at it. These are, I find, to be a good baseline, where once you put gear on top of it and you're gearing out and stuff, you can make them much better. Like even with the dodge and the block, if you want to buy some dodge rating gear, 10% is a nice starting point. You pick up a few more pieces, get that up to 20, you know, get 15% in dodge chance, maybe another 5% in block if you want. But, well, that's like 3-4 pieces of dodge chance instead of health mana in PvP or PvE. If you feel your health mana is nice and you want a little bit more RNG on your side, you can get the dodge chance gear. So I find that the point spread's nice, and then you can min-max it a little bit more with your gear. And dodge is just better, I think, than block rating, even for us, just because it completely negates the effect, whereas this only reduces it by 2/3. Again, I think he should make these affected by strength and agility, like some percent, like 0.2 or 0.1 each strength point, or agility point and each strength point, or something like that. So melees have a chance to raise it by upping their stats up here and stuff, and then maybe these points will be a little more valuable when you can start, okay, yeah, if I want to get this to 300 and get it to, or what is it, 400? I think it's 400. Yeah, if I want to get it to like 375 for 15, and then with my agility gets it up to another, you know, with agility, stacking, and maybe a little bit of gear, my gear agility and stuff, I get another 10% from gear. Like, that'd be nice. But as it is now, it's just a nice little bonus to have. I figure 250 base with the 125, 175, and then 20 and 20 weapon skill. Again, that has to do with gearing. Once we get our solo gear on, that'll give us over 450 weapon skill, which is a nice baseline to have for hitting the dungeon mobs and a lot of the solo stuff content we run into. And also 469 shield, help out getting hit less, and also in PvP and stuff, help you take less damage and stuff like that from attack. Lockpicking, pretty self-explanatory. We want to get that 100, you know, we can't leave any of that loot behind. And then for abilities, I max out 10 abilities. They're down here. I mainly stick to the percentage-based ones, like Desperate Prayer. Let's see here. Oh, someone wants to buy some. We'll go into here for the abilities real quick. So I kind of stuck to the ones that are percentage-based. So for instance, Desperate Prayer, go for 40 and 20 to 50 and 30. That's huge. And I get most of the main abilities we use. I kind of leave out heal and greater heal, and we can kind of look at. I mean, I get the heal buff. It doesn't seem like a lot, but once you start stacking willpower and stuff, it's a decent increase. Not the greatest, but any little bit of extra health you can add to your party is pretty helpful. We grab the Spark of Light and the greater heal. These are our two main heals. Uh-oh. He's mad. He wants his item. Harrowing Strike for sure. Another 50% on our melee attack. Heal's not bad, but we're going to ignore that. I think the Spark of Light is a better heal. We can do 2 Spark of Lights in the cooldown of a greater heal in PvE, like when we're in our healing builds. Holy Bolt, we're going to skip that. An extra 10% damage. Yes, please. Going to skip Lesser Heal. It just heals for so little. We don't really need a spammable heal. Even if we need to use the, the heal, we can do Spark of Light, Greater Heal, Heal, Spark of Light, Heal, Greater Heal, Spark of Light. We don't need to put Lesser Heal into our rotation. Discipline, yep, another 10%, perfect. Our shield, these are main solo ability. Solo ability is going to be the shield and rejuve. That's basically how we sustain ourselves and get through just farming. Just put a shield on, put a rejuve on, and go. Satanic Madness. 2 seconds extra on the CCs, very nice. And then last but not, oh, that is last and not least is that we're not doing Plague, and we're definitely not doing Smite. Even though it's a percentage based one, 5% is not that much. This is not make or break. This is not worth the extra XP. So, and it matches up perfectly. 49.5 matches up with our spreadsheet over here of 49.5. So go ahead and hit confirm on that, and that's our skills there. Oh man, this dude really wants his item. That's pretty much the skills. How we go? Got it down here as well. And then, as far as gems goes, you see full willpower. Willpower's our again best stat. I mean, you can go strength if you want more melee damage, but willpower is going to give you better heals, shield, health buff. Just willpower is going to just enhance all your skills, your stats. The only thing it's not going to give you is the melee damage, but honestly, we're not looking to burst things down and kill them instantly. I mean, as this build, obviously you could build a cleric to potentially do that, but here we're more trying to play for the long game. We're sustaining, we take more consistent damage, we have good hots, good shields, good heals, decent, kind of just middle of the line everything. We're not trying to do anything crazy. We're just trying to sustain through and heal and kill our way through most of the stuff. And so we'll just quickly go here with the geared one. We'll go over the gear real fast. Most of the gear we have is armor value, strength, courage for our actual armor. And then we also, let's do like this. And these are interchangeable, but it looks a little cleaner like that. So our armor is going to mainly be armor value with strength and courage, except for one piece of either your helmet, your gloves, or your boots. You can get HP and mana on it. Offhand, main hand, we're going to go health, mana, willpower, courage on it. And then for our necklace and waist, we're going strength, willpower, courage. And then for our rings, we're going to go strength, willpower, intelligence. And the reason we go intelligence instead of more courage is just to give us that, again, a little bit extra healing and sustain. The reason we don't go the strength, willpower, intelligence on our necklace and waist as well is we do want that extra little bit of courage so we can have our weapon skill at 455 and get that little bit extra crit so we can get to the 33% chance that we want. We also have with this gear set our resist up to 1 in 5 chance to resist, which is nice across the board. So we shouldn't have, it doesn't have too much problem or anything. The health looks a little low, but with our health buff we get up to about 3,600, which is not too bad, especially with our shield absorbing probably about close to 250. I think I want to say it's about 250. Let's see. Oh, I don't have any gear on. Oh, I have any points to spend. I guess we could spend our points here. Put our Rocky training montage music in the back. We get some Eye of the Tiger going or something. Can't use copyright music. Alright, we gotta find some non-copyright. That's pretty much my setup for that, and we'll just quickly go over. It's not much to go over for the dungeon setup here. video's getting quite kind of long. We got our dungeon gear set up. HP, mana, willpower, intelligence. Pretty much all there is to it. Just stack as much of that as you can. We get up to 603 and 518 with 4,500 HP and 5,100 mana. Pretty much just heal, same, just full willpower gems and all of it. Bounce of a dolphin, everything. And obviously can't be mithril, it's got to be like spirit silk or whatever it is. Yeah, that's pretty much how we heal in this build. We just grab all the bountiful dolphin gear we can get. I appreciate y'all that stuck through to the end, and until the next time, peace out.